All right, fuck it. We're just gonna start. Let me turn this music off. I'll just bring it down a little bit. What's up? You guys hear me and everything? I think it's working. I don't know what my gate settings are at right now. I haven't done this in a while. All right, cool. Dope. What's up, everybody? It's been a long time. It kind of feels pretty great to be back streaming, to be honest. I haven't done this in a while, and I've just been really busy and just kind of caught up in life and just chilling, writing as much as I can at my Timmy Hortons. Throughout the stream, let me know if levels are too loud or too quiet, because I left my settings as it was when I last streamed, so I think it should be good. So just let me know in the chat. But yeah, I just want to, just chill for a little bit, get some more people, and I have the project file up, and I'll get into it in a second, but I just want to talk and just say what up and answer any questions and just chat with you guys, because I miss you guys. This is basically like a performance for me at this point. It's because I kind of think of this as like me playing a show, so it's kind of fun to like, interact with you guys. It's kind of, so I kind of miss this. I miss this a lot, really. Do I miss LA? Honestly, a little bit, yeah. I've been little, since COVID and everything. Being back in Michigan has been really fun. Like I love, this is my house. I haven't streamed in here once before. And it's really great being, having my own spot and being able to like, do my own thing. And I had the best roommates, so we had the best time in LA. I definitely miss being around a bunch of people. Like I get pretty lonely sometimes, but yeah, I do miss LA a little bit. I definitely going to go back quite a bit because I really like it there. I was actually there not too long ago. I was there for that live stream, for the Insomniac EDC Orlando one. So I got to hang for a little bit and just kind of chill in LA. It was pretty fun. Me and my girl had a really fun time there, and yeah. Also, yeah, man. I just want to give, I just want to talk a little bit. R.I.P. Sophie, man. That's the most tragic news I've heard today. I can't believe that. I love a lot of her music. It was so left field and so unique. So much music out there by her that is just incredible, and I think needs to be known a lot by the world. And just kind of, it's tragic, and I hope her family's doing well. And yeah, I'm just speechless. I woke up to that, and it's crazy, man. We just lost too many good people this year. It sucks. So yeah, just keep her in your thoughts. Do I think I'll break down my resume mix? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna win that Twitter poll because I feel like a lot of people really have been asking me to see Here With Me and Powa, really. But that's okay. I'll get to that. I'm definitely gonna break down a lot of my tracks because I feel like it's pretty helpful for a lot of people. Because the way I make music, I don't think it's that. I don't know. I guess everyone's different, right? Like I don't think it's that impressive. I don't know, like there's a lot of things I do that are just so simple and looks like so dumb. It's like, wait, that's all you do? And it's like, yeah, that's all I do. So but I think what I do can help some people, and I'm in here to answer any questions. I know a lot of people are trying to make music, and especially during with all this downtime when we can't do anything, a lot of people are just hitting the studio and trying to learn as much as they can. So gonna try to help with that, because I know when I started off, I really wanted to hear from the pros, like how they made music and how they do it. And I guess when I started, Twitch wasn't really a big thing in streaming. So like now that it's more accessible and it's so easy to have a streaming setup and more musicians are doing it, I think this is a great time to give back. So yeah. What is your greatest accomplishment you never expect? Greatest accomplishment that I never expected. That's a really good question. I really don't know. I want to say like Red Rocks, because I didn't really expect to be playing. I didn't really expect to play that venue so soon. I thought that was going to be a long time, but that was not that. It felt like a long time ago, but that was last year. Like it was nuts. That was one of my favorite shows ever. Seriously. Yeah. Favorite part about living in RO? I think that means Royal Oak, but I don't live in Royal Oak. I'm in like the Birmingham area. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's cold. It's fucking cold, and there's a lot of snow. But I kind of miss the snow a little bit and just kind of the change of weather. So just get nice and cozy. Trying to stay warm. Oh, by the way, someone subbed. Who subbed? Thanks, baby, up for that tier 1 sub. I appreciate it, man. Sorry, there's a lot of messages. Holy shit. Oh yeah, we have 100 people in here. Jesus, you guys are awesome. Seriously, thank you so much for joining. Do you play video games during your free time? Yeah, I'm a gamer. I've been playing video games since I was like 5. But yeah, I haven't really, honestly, gaming's been really, I mean, it's been really fun still for me, but like it's kind of dying out. There's really not that many great games. I mean, Cyberpunk was a letdown, but I still enjoyed it as much as I can. But I've been playing just a lot of COD. I actually just started replaying Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, the second one. That game's incredible. If you've never played that game, highly recommend it. It is just like you just get stronger and stronger, and you just basically create an army and storm fortresses, and it's the combat is so fun. It's a great game. Yeah. Do I miss playing in Aus? Yeah, dude, Australia that was one of the best times. That was one of my favorite times I ever traveled. Like I did that all by myself, and I met some really amazing people, and just going. That was my first time out of the country. And it was far. That was a 13-hour flight. It was tough, but it was so worth it, man. I had spent a week in Australia, and I learned so much. And I played some of the coolest shows there, like Chinese Laundry Club, man. That place was so sick. That was one of my favorite shows. Just in a club like that, it just felt so like underground. It was so dope. Anyways, but yeah, let's just let's just get into this. I think we got enough people in here. I know you guys want to see this. But yeah, this song is so funny, man. Like this is like really my favorite song I've ever made, and it's really simple how I made it. But the stories is crazy too. Like I got handed these stems from Marshmello, and I literally didn't know what I was gonna do with it because it was a very poppy song, and I've never really experimented with poppy songs like that because I primarily did like dubstep and whatever. But it's crazy. Like I got the stems, and I was like, I'm just gonna try it. Like this is a big opportunity. I'm gonna try it. And the only thing I used from the stems was just the vocal. Like that's it, because there was like some great guitars in there and great like perks and stuff. The only thing I used was the vocal, and everything else. So basically, this song is technically an original, and I'll explain a little more about that, and you'll see why. Because if you took out the vocals, the song is literally just all me. And shout out Marshmello for giving me this opportunity, because like it was so fun. I remember like my buddies, all my roommates when I was in LA, they all wanted to go. They wanted to go like drink and shit and have a good time at our buddy's house. But I was like, I just kind of felt like I was in the zone I was working on. I was like, I think I got something here. So I kind of just held myself inside, and I just kind of worked on this. And I basically finished it that night. And I don't know how I came up with it. It just randomly happened. It was kind of like a happy accident, which is usually what happens with most of my stuff. But yeah, no, I finished it, and basically there was a whole I don't want to get really too into it, but there was just there was a bunch of music business stuff that happened, and we couldn't put it out, and so that's why I sat on it for so long, and everybody was like, I swear to God, every single day I got messages like, I remember I would post something about Gen 3 merch or whatever, what I think it was Gen 3 at the time. Anything really. It was a merch show, anything, and people would be like, this is cool, but it's not the Hero Me remix. And it was so funny because I was like, I've never seen someone like people really want a song from me that bad. So like I just knew I had to put it out. So basically what happened is this, it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just music label stuff, like they just didn't want to put it out. They're not that it was bad. It's just timing, legality stuff. And so what we decided to do was, well, I only use the vocals, and everything else is an original, so I decided to make it a cover. That's why and Marshmello's team agreed to it, and they were he was super friendly about it and let us do it. It was so about it, and I went through a couple vocalists, and they didn't really do they did a great job, but just at the end of the day when we started talking like terms, we just didn't agree on things, and so I was like really down. I just don't know when this is coming out. I can't get a vocalist. And so my manager, his wife, who sang on this record, like just did it, and I had no idea. Like I didn't know she was doing it. She just did it just to try it out, and she killed it. I honestly think that she did it the best, because not only did she really like come close to the original vocals, like it honestly has more character to it. And so I was like, this, and it's cool because like I have a really close relationship with my manager and his wife, so like it just kind of felt right, and it's just cool. She really finished it, finalized it, did a great job. I barely did that much processing. Like it just sounded great off the get go. So yeah, it's just after that, it was just awesome. I was so stoked to get out. I spent countless hours mixing it down, and yeah, but let's get into it. I don't know where to start. I really don't know where to start, but what do you guys want to see first? Does anyone want to see anything, or I don't know. From the top? Okay. I guess I'll start here. Okay, let me just open everything here because this is closed. All right, so one thing about my project files that a lot of people, I don't organize. I really don't. Because when I'm writing, I'm just like, I'm moving so fast. I'm just like, not that I don't have time. I just don't like spending too much time on one thing. I just kind of, if I have an idea, I quickly lay it down. So yeah, so here's the original vocals, by the way. I just want to do an A and B. Every day. Wait, that's not the right file. That's one of them, though. I think it's down here. Can I tell you something just between you and me? So these are the original vocals, and then if you compare it to V's vocals, they sound... Can I tell you something just between you and me? Like, pretty nuts. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the only thing I did to the vocals. Because I didn't, they were so good, just dry. All right, Effin, get the fuck out of here, dude. God, that kid sucks, man. God, always trolling. Is the stream going to be available? Yeah, I'm actually recording it right now in Streamlabs. I think I'm gonna try and edit this down and like cut it and try to do point. I just don't know if it's gonna work. I've never done that before. I've recorded with Streamlabs before, so everything should be good audio wise. I just gotta like edit it down myself and figure it out. But if I can't, maybe I'll just like try recording a separate video and just like do it, because I kind of want to upload this on YouTube, I think. Anyways, so yeah, back to what I was saying. But yeah, see, this is the only processing I did on these vocals. So, so I'm gonna get, so a lot of things I do with vocals and a lot of people do is multiband compression, and I use OTT like all the fucking time. And I'm such a advocate of this one from Extra Records instead of Ableton stock. I mean, there's really no difference, but to me, it's just like, I don't know, this has like a crisper sound. It's, I don't know, easier interface for me. This is free, by the way, on Splice if you want it. It's free on there. And so what I kind of did is just, I didn't really do much. I kind of just cut a little bit of the lows out, boosted the mids slightly, but like I said, I didn't really have to do much because her vocals were just already so good. I cut out a lot of the lows here just because, in vocals you don't need that low end at all, so that gives room for the sub, the kick, and everything, and just a little bit of a high shelf, just to give it that brightness. If I turn this off, like if I just turn this whole rack off. Can I tell you something just between you and me? To see how it's, it's super dry if you just turn it back on. Can I tell you something just between you and me? So, it just gives it a way more like life to it. I slapped a gate on it too, just because there were some points in the recording, like right here in these like areas, the OTT would be kind of triggering the noise floor, which if you don't know what that means, it's just like, when you're recording on a mic, and they stop singing, but you can hear the room noise. It was a little prominent, and the OTT kind of brings that out. So I put a noise gate on. So what a noise gate does, if you don't know, is basically what I did. So anything that hits, whatever's coming through, so the audio that comes through, if it hits, if it's quieter than negative 28.4 dB, it cuts it off. So that means, so while she's singing, it's not really activated, but when this is right here, when there's nothing playing, it cuts off the noise. So that way you can't hear the noise floor. And this took me forever because it was really tricky, because you have to find the right threshold, because sometimes in the vocal it could be too quiet, like maybe like right here, and then you can't hear that. So it took me a long time. Yeah, so but honestly, it wasn't that, it wasn't that hard, and I used Valhalla Room. It's my favorite reverb, just to give it, that space. Yeah, and I could go in the vocal. I chopped it up here. I had to This is the breakdown, by the way, kind of like the build. So I chopped it up in parts here because if I do this, there's that noise floor. I just couldn't get it right, so I just cut it out because you don't really need it.
You're saying the words that I want you to say. There's a pain in my heart and it won't go away.
Just sounds so good. The space on this reverb, like Valhalla Room is so good. I think this is like $50, I think, and it's usually on sale. So if you don't have this plugin for reverb, I highly recommend it. They have a couple other ones, like I think it's Valhalla Vintage. There's a bunch of others, but I like Room the best. But yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I'll show you the drums here. I guess I'll get into a little of the drum work. Is that too loud, by the way? I can't tell. It's pretty loud for me, but let me know. So the drums. Sorry, I have to find them here. So, something that you guys have probably seen on Twitter before. Dirt Monkey always jokes to me. We're joking about this at a drive-in that we just played a couple months ago. He's like, "I really like your tams." I think this is from The Count. I think I just took I consolidated and freezed it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's these ones right here. I think. Yeah, I took parts of that, froze it down, and I kind of just cut it and put them in time because they're a little offbeat. And then I just transpose it down a little bit, just to give it that movement. Let's see. This is one of my favorite snares ever. It's literally the entire snare. The one thing something I always do is when I go back to these project files, there's things I wish I did. I really wish I EQ'd this just a little bit because there's a little bit of a low end bump you see in the EQ. That was kind of a mix here, but honestly, you can't really tell. I use this kick for probably every single song. This is my favorite kick sample. It's just so good. And the sub. This is from the Leviathan pack. It's called the Boom Hole D Sharp. It's just such a clean sub, and you can just do anything with it. This is funny too. This is part in the effects. This is just a hawk, and it just has a bunch of reverb. That's literally it. Just to give it like a little more space and fill out the mix a little bit. So do you usually freeze all the elements? Yeah, because I work in audio primarily. I don't really do any MIDI. I really rarely do synthesis unless I'm like trying to make, I don't know, I guess a synth, but like I really don't do. I just manipulate audio a fuck ton, and I like how visual it is because like with MIDI everything looks the same, but this I can clearly see what the kick is. I can see the snares, like, just easier for me to see. So and then this right here is just the sidechain. So I've showed this in a bunch of other streams. This is how I trigger all of my side chains. Is I just have a rim shot, and it's just so everything is going to this. So I think the sub is side chained. Yeah, so the sub is side chained to that rim shot, so you can hear it. Just gives it that really tight breathing effect, so it's really snappy. I really like snappy side chains. That's really all that is to the drums, really. Let me go back to the. So I guess I'll get to the breakdown here. So everyone always asks, what is that drop sound? Oh, that sounds kind of pretty. All that reverb. So it's actually. Let me see if I can pull this in a different channel. So this actually isn't this is the drop sound. This is just this goes on throughout the entire track, and you probably hear it. It's just kind of hitting the tonic at a really high, I think up an octave. So without it.
You're saying the words that I want you to say. There's a pain in my heart.
So it sounds good without it or with it, but like I had it throughout the entire song. Without it kind of, in the drop without it kind of sounds empty. it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fills it out a little bit more. Gives it like a little more emotion. And so it's literally just this flute sample. Just chopped it up. That's really it. And then that's the same thing with the drop sound, just down here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. And so this sample, that's the original sample. It's just this flute sample I found on Splice, and I was like, that's kind of sick. And what I did to it, so OTT, of course, and let me delete this because I'm gonna get confused. OTT, this auto pan. So the auto pan is what's giving it the movement. This is a trick that Subtronic showed me, actually. I do it all the time because it gives it a really... It's basically acting as an LFO. So if I turn it off with it, bop, 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 just gives it that like pumping, breathing effect, so it gives it movement. Basic EQ work. This stuff, by the way, it was stuff I was messing with when I was... Oops. When I was just doing some processing, but this isn't even on, doesn't even do anything. You know, cut the lows. I brightened it a lot because I really wanted it to stand out. And this is a filter that slowly comes in. So then... And then all I did was I just cut the reverb, like, or I basically made it a lot less. Right here. Basically, the decay is really high. It starts going down, so it kind of... You know, it's super like atmospheric, and as the build like progresses, it just you can start to hear it more. It brings it out. So then when the drop hits and it's super dry, then it just hits so much harder. And I just chopped it up like in different parts, kind of created a melody out of it. It just worked so well. It was like a happy accident. Like it just, I don't know, I was in the zone and just kind of heard it. But yeah. Are there any questions? I feel like I'm moving pretty fast. I might just answer some questions if anyone has anything. But yeah. it's so simple, like I said. Any serum tips? Yeah, uninstall it. I'm kidding. Serum's dope. Yeah, you're welcome. Do I use Faceplant? No, I'm thinking about getting it. I've seen so many people use it, but it just looks so confusing to me. I'm just not good with synthesizers, man. Like I just can't, like, it's almost like math to me, and I'm really bad at math. So I don't know. I mean, you know, I know how to use Serum, but I'm just not good at making sounds like that. I like just making sounds out of just like manipulating audio, which I mean like stretching it, transposing it, chopping it up, and just kind of making shit up like that. Yeah. Do I mix and master? So I mix this entire track by myself. Like it's always me, but mastering is something that I always send off to the label because usually the label wants it to a standard, or they want to sound, they kind of try to keep a consistent level and sound with their label. And so I just let them do it because they always just crush it. But whoever they did the master, they crushed it on this. But yeah, I mixed it all. I think mixing is way more important because that's how you it's like when you're cooking something, like, you know, you're the one that puts all the ingredients together and levels it out, and then that's how it's good. So I always focus on that. I always mix my own stuff. Never let anyone really help me on that. Just do it myself. But yeah. What MIDI controller do you use? I don't really have one. Not really. The only gear I really have that's like hardware or whatever. I have a grandmother synth. It's an analog Moog. It's amazing. I have this Roland Boutique. I think it's a J. I can't remember what the number is, but it's really, I haven't really used it much. But yeah. Mind talking about your mix down process? Yeah, I mean, there really isn't like a process that I do every single time, but basically I always start with the drums. I make a drum beat, and then from there I start kind of adding sounds to it slowly, but I always kind of focus on the drums first, because if the drums aren't smacking in your song, then it's hard for me to listen. Like you have to have good drums because it's the backbone of your track. And this song particularly, I actually started with the drums, but then I started with this pad. This is just this one sample. This is basically like the intro. It's literally just this one pad I found on Splice and just looped it a bunch because I thought it was like a perfect. Oh shit. No more comps. Kevin Lee gifting 5 subs. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Look at that. Look at all those subs. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. But yeah, so this is literally the intro. Like, this is just it, and I have a little vinyl crackle. That's really the intro. Simplicity. It's just, just being simple with it. But yeah, as I'm mixing, so basically, like, everything here, all the like, the biggest thing is with making music and mixing is cutting and EQing. Like, EQing is the biggest, right? You gotta cut anything that doesn't need low frequencies, get it out of there. Like, I'm talking leads, FX stuff, hi-hats, anything that just doesn't need it, because you need room for that sub. That's how I make the sub really pop, But yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to get in a little more. I guess back to the drop sound. So this is the B section. So this is it's a different variation. I always like to, in my songs, you'll probably notice that I like to change it up quite a bit. After, like, the first 4 bars, I like to keep the song changing so it's not just the same thing over and over. So I basically consolidated all of this and down here, and I just transposed it down a whole octave. And I just automated the auto pan, so it's going from 16th notes to 8th. Up, 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 up. Just to give it a little more movement. Keeps the listener, like, I don't know, keeps their attention, and it just sounds cool down the whole octave. I'll just go with a little more of the drums too. So there's a delay in the vocal. So with the drums, like I said, I always focus on my drums, and usually what I've been doing lately is a lot of tams. It fills out that high end and gives a little bit I don't know, like, movement to it. There's a lot of layers to the drums. Some rides. More shakers. I just layer a lot of, like, percussion loops and stuff like that. This snare is money too. It's one of the best snares I've ever found. Yeah, most of the drums really just have a lot of layers to it with percussion loops and whatever. And the sub, same sample, just chopped up. This one has a lot. So when I was working on the song originally, it didn't have any erosion on it. But then I put it on there when I was, like, doing the final mix down. I just thought it gave it a lot of character, and so when you listen to it on on your laptop or on your phone speaker, you can kind of hear the sub a little bit more. But yeah. Do you use parallel compression? No, I don't, and I don't pan my drums either. Well, sometimes I pan my drums, but no, I think it's all about just sample selection. Like, I have so many drum samples from so many packs. And I think if you just find the right sample, and it's all about sample selection, like, just having the right drums that fit with the sounds, it goes a long way. Like I said, like, the drums are the backbone. So if you have really good drum samples, you just start kind of building an ear for it, and you don't really need to do much, because I don't EQ or tune my kicks. I kind of just, like, do it all by ear. Like, if it sounds good, it sounds good. But yeah. I guess I'll go to the vocal, this little chop vocal while I'm at it. So I really like the pre-drop vocal, essentially. This I just loved how it kind of added to the song, and I put a fat delay on it, just an Ableton stock delay, so I think it's delaying on the 8th note every time. So it carries on. Just adds so much. Probably help if I had the flute back on. But yeah, it just sounds. I just filled it out a little bit more in the drop. But yeah. Am I all Ableton effects? Yeah, mostly. Like Ableton stock, like right out of the gate, just everything works, man. Like it's so easy to use. Like, I know a lot of people use like FabFilter, ProQ, whatever, and I've used it before. I really like it, but like I don't know, when I had that plugin bundle, I would always like use it, or I would try to use it, but then I would my instinct would just go straight to Ableton stock. So I was like, oh. So why do I have filter? Why is it even installed? I just kept going to the stock because it works. It's simple. I don't really need to do much with it. It does what I need to do. But yeah. I guess I'll get into the second drop. Any questions while I'm at it? I know I'm kind of moving fast. Answer anything. Any question you want. It doesn't have to be music related, but. When I'm usually mixing, do you go after specific luffs? No, I just go by ear. Cause you know, like you'll see, so this project file right now has IM pusher on it. If you've never seen this before, this is a Waves plugin, just a multi-band limiter essentially. And so when I'm working on music, any songs, while I'm like on tour or something, you know, I'll write an idea, but I don't send it to master yet because it's not done or not even close to being done, but it's playable. And so if I wanted to get it louder, I just bring everything down. I'll just take every single channel and bring the levels down so that I give it about, like right here in the master, I'll try to have like 6 to 7 dB of headroom, and I'll throw this IM pusher on it. This is actually what G-Rex and I used for Babatunde for the VIP too. This is how we like mastered it essentially. And this thing is great because you slap this on, you know, give it like 6 to 7 dB of headroom, and you just crank this push knob, and this is just a limiter. That's all it does, and it's you can put it on clip or limit. I leave it on clip because limit kind of squashes the sound, and this is the only like multi-band compressor that I've used for something like this that doesn't ruin the sound or like squash it. Like it just sounds good, and you can even like if you want to bump your low end, you can pick the key of the song, and you literally just drag this up, and you can literally bump it up. I don't ever really use that because this is just, to me, it's the equivalent of seeing a bass boosted song on YouTube, and I hate those. And this knob's kind of cool. I don't really use it too much. You can use it sometimes, but it's just the magic knob, and basically, I don't really know what it does, but as you push it up, you can kind of hear like your kick punch a little bit more, but it can kind of fuck with the entire track. It's kind of like, you know, use it if you can, but if it doesn't sound good, you really don't need it. And I only use this, like I said, I only use this when I need to play something live, and I want it to kind of be like, I want the levels. I want it to be a loud tracks when I'm playing it because you know I want it to be the same level as everything else that I'm playing. So that's all I think. That's really all I use. But someone just started out mixing for fun and dabbling on making music. Which program? Oh wait, sorry, I missed that first question. What are you listening to on? So my headset. These are Audio-Technica M50s. Yeah, M50Xs. I can't remember. I've bought like so many pairs of these. M50Xs for headphones. I actually use this for DJing too, but I love these headphones for making music because they're loud, they're flat. They're really great headphones. And then I have Audio-Technica, or sorry, Adam A7Xs for my speakers. And those, honestly, I got like two of my friends on it. Detra and Sully bought those too, and like I'm telling you, man, these speakers, I think they're the best because that ribbon tweeter is just, it really helped my mix down, so I wasn't overcompensating for the high end. And I feel like everything that comes out of these things, if it sounds good on them, it sounds good everywhere. And then I have a KRK-10 sub to pair with it. This thing, I've had it for like years. Actually, Sully, when we were first like, when we were in college and we were first like, you know, when we're DJing and before we even did anything or anybody, he worked at Guitar Center and he sold me this. I drove like 2.5 hours in the middle of the summer to go to our college town and buy it from him at cost. And I've had this thing ever since, and it's still pumping. It kicks ass, man. You find the M40s are better than the 50s? I've never used the 40s. I did buy a pair of the M70s though, those new ones that came out, and they suck. I think they sound terrible, and they feel way cheaper. Like they're like $300. I just wanted to try them out because I bought them on Amazon. I was like, oh, if I don't like them, I'll return them. They are terrible. Like they just sound really harsh. They sound cheap. Like I just don't like them. Like these M50s, I think are the best ones they've ever made. Yeah. Do you like to keep your drum patterns pretty consistent? Yeah, basically. I what I'll usually do is like so you'll see, and not really in this track, but some tracks I'll just have like a kick, snare, hi-hat, and then after 4 bars, I'll start bringing in like shakers and tams just to like keep, I don't know, just keep it changing and kind of re-emphasize the drums a little bit. Yeah. Impossible Tour coming back eventually. Yeah, we still have. So I think when COVID hit, I had like 3 or 4 more dates on the tour. I can't remember exactly, but we do have them. We're planning on finishing those out still, and if you have tickets, they will be honored. So we'll eventually get those. It just depends, no one really knows when shows are going to come back. So use the monitors as a reference. Yeah, not really. I mean, headphones too, but like mostly I make everything on my Atoms, and I put on headphones. Usually like my girlfriend's like upstairs doing homework or something, or like I'll be in like Discord with the homies and I'm just like working on music. Sometimes working in headphones is great because you kind of block out all the outside world and you can only hear what's going on here, and it kind of helps me focus. So yeah. Wow, anonymous gifter for the 5 subs. Thank you. Wow, holy fuck, man. I appreciate that. Damn. Are the vocals different in the release? Yeah, they are different. So like I said in the beginning, I had the original vocals, but there was just a bunch of like music business stuff that just didn't work out. Couldn't put it out, so I had to like basically do my own vocals and put it out as a cover. Still credit Marshmello and his team. Like if you go on Spotify and show the credits, like his team and the writers are all credited because I literally only used the vocals from the original song, just like the lyrics essentially, and everything else is all me. That's how I kind of got past it. Yeah. So I'll get in the second drop here. So the second drop is basically, it's the same thing essentially, but a little bit different. I gave it a little bit of like a slide legato. So how I did that, literally just slight transposition automation here in the actual clip itself. So I take it away, and I did it here too. And then I kind of brought it down a little bit, so it kind of goes like a semitone down. Kind of gives it that weird sound to it, but I thought it was a nice little change up, so I didn't want to do the exact same drop. I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Oops, well, that kind of helped the vocals were there. Yeah, it just flows really nice. I thought it was a good change up. Didn't want to do the same thing. It's always good to like keep the just have it change slightly throughout the song so you're not hearing the same thing over and over. Oh, sorry, I forgot to answer your question, Chaos. Yeah, so for someone just starting out mixing for fun and dabbling and making music, which program and sample packs do you suggest? The program doesn't matter. It's all what you're comfortable with. I started actually when I first was making music. I did FL Studio. It was great. It was cool, but just to me, I didn't really like the look of it. Just there's too many windows for me, and like I don't know, it just seemed a little outdated for my taste. And I was also on Mac, and at the time, FL Studio wasn't out for Mac yet. So my buddy got me into Ableton, and Ableton, I didn't even know how to make a sound on it for like a week until my buddy showed me. But once I got it, I think the thing I like about Ableton is how like you just hit tab, and you have your whole mixer right here. You can see everything. I don't really ever work in this view that much, but it's just kind of nice to see everything. And in this view is the arrangement view, and I just love how I can just everything is here, like my plugins, my sample packs. So you can just like add folders. So like this is my master sample library that I've had this whole sample library since like I started making music. I just recovered it actually. But anyways, yeah, and then sample packs. I mean, I recommend getting a Splice account. It's super cheap. I think it's like $5 or $6 a month, and you get like 100 credits, and you can do a lot with those 100 credits. And Splice I still use Splice every day. Like I have tons of samples on here, and I use Splice almost daily just for inspiration. I'll find like quick little loops or like bass samples just to like fuck with and mess around. Like Splice is a really useful tool. Like if I wish I had Splice when I started producing, because there's just like it's so accessible. Like, before you just had to find samples on Reddit or like just randomly from like packs that artists would drop, and now you got this whole library, like millions of sounds you can play with. And it's great. I recommend it. Is that Ableton 11? No, this is 10. I don't have the 11 beta. I'm kind of nervous about the 11 beta. I just letting people test it out first, but I haven't gotten in the program. I haven't even signed up for it. I actually had to rebuy Ableton because I lost my license, because I had a license that I got when I worked at Guitar Center back in the day, and then I changed my email and lost it, so I had to rebuy it. So, but yeah. Let's see. Let's keep going. I mean, there's really not much else. That's kind of how I did it. Is there anything else you want to see in this project? Like, is there anything that people who are just joining in, if you want to see something, I can go back and show you something. Because like I said, like there's really not a lot going on this track. It's very simple, but yeah. These are all a bunch of serums that I didn't even use. I don't even know what's in this. What is this? So this is all a bunch of sketches that I was messing around with. So many weird sounds that I was trying to mess with. I guess I'll kind of go through the FX a little bit. Something I always think people kind of neglect when they're learning how to make music is they just focus too much on the drop sound and the drums, which is always a key part of the song, but the FX I think really matters. So like these wind chimes, like for example, even though it doesn't look like it's doing a lot and it's really quiet, it does add texture, and it kind of just like brightens out the high end and fills out the space. Like I really care about FX. Like there's a little spot here too. Where are you? I think it's this thing. Yeah, this, and this is like just some sample I chopped up and it just fitted perfectly. I did some processing to it. That's it. So without it, I mean, it works without it, but I just like that little texture. It's kind of like this little sound. It's like, oh, what is that? And it kind of gets your attention back in. Just little shit like that. I think it's super important to use and focus on. And like, even though it seems so small, like I'll always sit here and spend time in the sound for like 10 minutes maybe, just try to get it clean. But what's the coolest, most unique sound design trick you use in this track? That's a great question. It's probably just the drop sound, because it's like the original sample is just this flute, like it doesn't even. Oops. Hold on. I mean, it's just so bare bones, and when you chop it up, you can do anything with samples. I just chopped it up, gave it that movement. And that was kind of the coolest thing, because it just came out of nowhere. It's like a happy accident. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Control Freak? I don't really use groups. Yeah, I mean, right here I do. I don't really use them too much. I only really use them if it's like just for my own sanity. Like for this, I just have like the drop sound in a group. But like, I don't know. I'm very unorganized when I work. Just because like I said, I like to work really fast. So like, and I'm really visual, so I can just see a color code and I can just see like, okay, blue. See the waveform. I just know where it is in my eyes, and it probably would help if I organize it. I can just see here and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the drums. But that's just I don't know. It's not how I work. That's just it's different for everybody. People call me crazy, but I don't know. I just don't really fuck with it. Do you use a separate sub every track? Sometimes I use a sub primarily for everything, just because it's so clean. I can transpose it to any key I want. And it's really fat on a sound system. It always works. Was that drop sound a random splice sample? Yeah, it was just some random flute sample I found. I was looking for like a flute airy, like an airy kind of sound for the drop, and just found that. But yeah. How do you go about making sounds wider and sit in the stereo field well? It's really just EQing and just like sample selection and making sure that you're not overdoing it, essentially. I feel like a lot of people will just kind of jam shit over and over, like just stack so many layers, which is fine. And it works for some people, but for me, I'm just like really simplistic, and I like to just like use as little as I can and make it just very impactful because of that. And really EQing is the name of the game. As long as you can create space for everything, like your sub, your drums, and the mix, and just have the right samples, and side chaining too is huge. Like if you have a really good side chain, so basically in most tracks I'll sidechain with that rim shot that I showed you. I'll sidechain in every single kick and snare, so that when that kick, but it's really short. So every time the kick and snare hit, that split second, it's only the drums popping in. In fact, and that actually makes a lot because then it makes your drums pop because then the drums aren't competing with anything else. It's just a little trick I do. That's how I bring my drums pop. And it's, I use a lot of small snares. Like a lot of people always like my drums, they say, and they like my snares because I use really short snares, and the side chain is so aggressive and short that it makes it pop. And that's how it just stands out in the mix, and that's a big part of it for me. Yeah. You want to know about that womp womp? What's funny is that womp womp is really nothing, man. It's literally just this one sample I found on Splice, and I just kind of just plopped in there for a filler. It just sounded so good. At first I actually didn't really like it, but then it kind of warmed up to me, and a lot of people are talking about it. You have a Speedster project file? No, I don't. I always start blank and I don't really save sounds or anything. I kind of just work with new stuff every single time. Same drums usually, or same pack for the drums, but yeah. You show example of a sidechain? Yeah, I showed it earlier. So everything is being sidechained to, where is it? It's this guy right here. It's just a rim shot from a Cashmere pack. I picked something. I could have probably picked a better rim shot, but usually I pick, like, if I just type in rim here. Yeah, like these ones. Something with like a really short transient. So it's just every time this sound triggers in, everything is ducking, but it's really fast. Just so it gives it that space. Just very short. I like really short side chains. I don't like stuff that's breathing too much. Like I'm listening to progressive house. But yeah. What do you listen for in a good kick? It depends on the track. Sometimes a muddier kick will work great for a track if you're doing like an old school hip hop kind of style. But this one kick sample, I use it for like a lot of tracks. It's just something. It's just such a great kick. It punches. Yeah. I have so many drum. Like I said, I have so many drum samples like that I use, and they just punch. I really dig for just drum samples a lot. Do you usually sidechain everything? Yeah. I mean, not everything. Not like TAMs or anything like that. Sometimes it just depends. Like if the TAMs or something's not working, like it doesn't, like when the kick and snare come in, it doesn't really, they're not popping. Say like the TAMs are interfering, I'll sidechain if I have to. But yeah. Use any millisecond delay on drums? Not on this track, but I actually do a lot right now. That's something I've been really doing. I think I did it in Smack. I'll like take my hi-hats and let me show you here. Let's see. Or something like this. So right, if you guys don't know and you're working at Ableton, if you go down here and click this is your delay button for your individual channels. And what this does, you can offset when the audio comes in. So if I just crank this to, that's a lot. It doesn't come in for another whole 327 milliseconds. If I bring it down, sometimes I'll delay it just like by 25 usually. It kind of gives it like that swing, that lateness, and makes it feel a little more realistic. And I'll do that with hi-hats a lot because I think like a slightly delayed hi-hat with a kick just sounds so fat. Just kind of reinforces that like oomph. Kind of makes it feel a little more human. I do that a lot now, actually. Not on the kick or snare though. I like the kick and snare to just be hitting right on beat. Do you use a sub pack? I actually, not in a while, but I actually mixed my Imposters EP with that. I had one because I lived in an apartment with Sully and a bunch of others, and we can't, the subs, in an apartment you can't really use a sub, so the sub pack was great because I can only feel it, and that thing was awesome. If you have headphones in a sub pack, it's kind of like you're working. You can have like a studio anywhere you go. Like and it's a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, like that thing really not. I have one still in my closet. I have a brand new one because it broke, and sub pack was super generous, and they sent me one for free. I haven't even opened it, but I'm definitely going to use it when touring again because it's really nice to have on tour and like in hotel rooms and stuff. Yeah. Do you always sidechain with compressor or do you automate volume? I sidechain with the compressor all the time. I don't really do volume. I know people that do, which you can get a cleaner sidechain if you do that, but it just takes a long time. I think it takes longer, and I really like to be quick. I think the compressor does the job. Do you ever release your own packs? I've thought about that. I've thought about doing that. I just, it's a lot of time. And I'm just kind of focusing on finishing stuff and writing a lot. So, but I think eventually I'll do that one day. Probably maybe do a splice pack if they ever want me to do that. But yeah. Any advice on releasing music? Just upload, man. Like, if you're just starting out, like remember that, you're probably not going to have like the best tunes. You're learning. It's just like riding a bike. You just got to learn. You got to keep doing it. Practice makes perfect, but like have fun with it and don't try to sound like anyone else. Like, I know a lot of people that when they start out, they use reference tracks. So they'll put in like a Space Laces song. They try to like make their mix down sound like that, which is good for learning. But I feel like you're never going to really figure out your own sound if you're trying to mimic someone else. Because like at the end of the day, you're not Space Laces, and like that's not saying like you suck. It's just saying like like his music has a very unique sound because that's him. That's literally him, and like you're never gonna sound like exactly like him, right? Because you're a different person. So I think it's important to when you're starting to make music, just have fun with it and just write stuff and just kind of like don't even have an idea or a thought flow. Just upload. Like when I started making music, I was uploading all my own stuff whenever I wanted to and just like promoting on Reddit and just getting feedback from people and just because you're gonna get better and better. Like the more you work on music and upload, and you'll start to figure out your own sound naturally. And don't worry about shows. Like that comes later. Like shows are not the priority. The priority is having a good song because like one good song can completely take you to the next level if so just focus on writing good music and have fun. You add distortion to your sub. I add like erosion, which is just white noise. Just because I like that. I don't know, it just sounds cool. People always joke with me and say like, oh, Peekaboo just uses erosion. I'm like, well, yeah, because it sounds sick. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty dope. That way, when you're listening on laptop speakers, you can kind of hear that buzz and just kind of reinforces the sub on systems that don't have it. Can you bring your sub back in your carry-on? Yeah, of course you can. It's not going to raise any eyebrows because they're not when that's going through TSA, they're looking for like weapons and bombs. Like they're not looking for like that's not gonna I had it in my suitcase and I would check my luggage with it. And it doesn't matter because they clearly can see like the X-ray. It's just a speaker. There's nothing else to it. So you can definitely bring it. I don't think I would wear it on an airplane now. not to be like, but like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't really matter, but people might look up and be like what the fuck? I haven't worn it on an airplane because that's also just a lot to like get it out of the bag and like there's no room, especially if you're in like economy. There's yeah. Did I send to labels? Yeah, I did. I got turned down a bunch. I got turned down by so many people. I would try to send it to blogs, and some posted it, a lot didn't. Especially those blogs that'd be like, "Oh, if you pay $20, you're guaranteed to listen or guaranteed to post," and that kind of helped, or usually didn't. I just self-released and just kept like kind of posting my shit on Reddit, trying to get people to listen. And you're probably it's tough. You're not, but like I just recommend just keep uploading music and just keep doing it because eventually someone will find it. If it's a really good song, they'll repost it. It's all it takes is one song. What steps did you take to better yourself making music when you first started? I just did it every day when I was in high school. I just like sat at home. I bought speakers and I just grinded every day. And I was writing progressive house when I first started. It's kind of funny, but I just worked really fucking hard and just tried to like watch as many tutorials as I can and just study and listen to like how like what's like the popular music at the time and like just seeing like what's what do people want to listen to, what do I want to make. That's basically at the end of the day. I didn't really know what I wanted to make. I went from like progressive house to trap, to dubstep, and back to trap, but like I kind of started figuring out my sound a little bit when I moved to LA, to be honest. That's kind of when I started having it click a little bit. I got really inspired. What's up, Super Av? Self-release, send to people you think will fuck with it. Yeah, and if they don't fuck with it, they don't respond, like don't take it personal. Like even my homies like today, like they'll DM me on Twitter and like I don't respond. It's not that I'm like ignoring them. I just forget. And like, or if I don't, it's not, if I don't like it, like I'll, it's just be honest, or like it's nothing. There's nothing like, not everyone's gonna like your music. Like I know there's a lot of people that don't like my music too. Like but it's all about if you like it at the end of the day. I was working with ZZ. It was great, man. When we first started so I'm about to open that project in a second. Sorry, I'm just answering questions, just chatting. But yeah, when we first started, we had a studio session in LA, and it was really fun. The song was super deep at the time. I think if you all remember that first thing they played at Ultra, that was literally like 30 minutes of work. I didn't expect them to play it, but they did, and people reacted to it. But like, I think we can make this better, and so we kind of sat down again and passed ideas back and forth, and it just kind of happened super fast and naturally, and yeah. But it was really fun working with those guys. They're super nice dudes, and Deadbeats is like so great. They really take care of me, and they just do a great job. They kill it. What is my social security number? Yeah, I know that JD, aka Effin, is a mod. How do I get him off? I'm gonna ban him right now. What do you do when you have no motivation? Okay, this is a great one. So I struggle with this a lot. Trust me, like everybody does. Even like the big guys, they always struggle with this. Like you're a musician, and you're naturally gonna have times where you feel like you can't make anything, and that's okay. So it's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Shut up, Sully. Anyway, but yeah, you're gonna have times when you can't write anything. And that's okay. You just gotta like not force it. Damn, I lost my train. I remember one time I tweeted at Dion. I was like, "Happy birthday, Dion!" Like it wasn't his birthday at all. Everybody just spammed him. He was like, "What's going on?" Anyways, but yeah. So back to the motivation. Yeah, it's just like you just gotta like do something that doesn't that like keeps you happy. So it's like another hobby. So for me, I like to play video games, or recently I hang on my girlfriend. I go on a walk, go to the gym or something, just to get my mind off of it, or I'll like spend a day, just get super baked and just watch like or listen to music, like find new stuff, because I'll usually get inspiration that way, and then I'll go into the DAW and hopefully make something. But it's okay if you don't have motivation. It happens to everybody. I think the best thing is that if you don't feel like writing, don't force yourself to do it, because there's no point. Because you're not gonna write. I don't think you're gonna write really good music because you're gonna be stressed. You should be having fun, But yeah. So is there anything else you want to see on this project file, or should I move over to Powa? I can keep going. I think I covered really everything on this. But should I go to Powa? Okay. Powa. Okay. Vocal processing. Before I switch over, I'll just show that it's really nothing. This very light OTT, or not very light OTT, EQing, a gate, and reverb, and some side chaining compression. That's it. Simple, Hey, they're just hanging out because I can't work on music. Once I'm inspired, I'm out. No. I like hanging with my girlfriend. She's fun. All right. Let's open Powa. So this project file is a little bit crazy. Takes a little bit to load. That's okay. I don't need any of those. Hold on, I have to do okay, it's good. All right. So let's get into this boy. Will this be available to rewatch? Yeah, I'm recording it actually right now. I just hopefully it works and the audio's all good. I have to I have to sit down and edit myself. I think I'll try to do that. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, the editing's bad, or if it doesn't really, if I sound like an idiot or something on it, I might just I don't know, I might just redo it and do like a separate video and just spend time recording that. I think it'd be cool to like upload how I make stuff on YouTube and stuff. Have I done a power move breakdown? No, but I couldn't do that. I just have to find the project file, because the thing is, I wrote that song with Julian on my old PC, which actually just broke and got wiped. But I saved everything. I had to get like a external hard drive reader basically, and I put everything on it. So I saved everything. So I have to dig down and find that project file. But I think Julian still has it too. He could probably send me the stems, so I'd have to like do it all again. But yeah, here is Powa. So this song, actually, I wonder if I have. Hold on, I want to see if I have the original song, or what like the yeah, I definitely do. I want to show you what it originally was going to sound like. Very bare bones, because I think it's important to show this, because how and show you how like changing, like how like when I'm working on a song, how it changes and evolves. I got it somewhere in here. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay. Can you guys hear this? Yeah, you definitely can. So this is the original. This is like the first thing we ever made. We've actually talked about it. I think we might make this into a VIP, like a deep dub version of it, but we haven't really done anything yet. But we might. But this is like the first thing we ever made when we were in the studio. Yeah, it's very simple and bare bones, but yeah, that was the very first idea, and then there was another version, which is the Ultra one, which is actually, I might revisit that too. Who knows? But at the time, I didn't really feel like it fit what I was going for, or what we really wanted. So, but that's how we ended up with the final. But yeah, let's just get into this. That was the first ever version, and then it turned into this. But so, the vocals, Hooks provided with me with these vocals. He found these really cool reggae vocals. And they just sounded sick. We like that whole like reggae vibe, like going back to like the roots of like dubstep in a sense, I don't know where he got these from, but he just found them. I think they're on Splice, or maybe he just had he has a huge sample library. But I really fucked with it, and so I sat down. I was like, I gotta make an intro, and so I wanted to like when we were working on the song, I kind of felt like we should have like the song that when you press play, you know exactly what it is, and I wanted like a really hype like intro. So I'm thinking like festivals. And so a lot of it is, I've showed this before, and I've shared it. I think I can drop the link in the chat or somewhere. I can't remember how I did it last time. But Hellbound, if you don't know Hellbound, used to go by Tassione. It's like his new project, kind of his main project now. He makes really sick like techno, and he has this rave stab pack that is just incredible. You can literally cycle through this. It's so fire, and I use it for a lot of my tracks, and I'm like need like something for like filler. And I just did some OTT on it, and I just a little gross EQing, but same thing here. Layered it. We always joked about this too, because the boys, like ZZ was like, kind of sounds like Mortal Kombat in a way. And I was like, yeah, I think it's kind of funny. I think it's cool. Like it kind of feels like you're about to enter into a boss fight, or I just wanted something that has a lot of high energy in the beginning. So when you play at a festival, it just explodes, right? And this drum sample. Oh, I use some FX here, like the siren. But yeah, just more filler and stuff, and this breakbeat sample I found. I saw it just fit so perfectly. And then in the build, I just froze the root note, just these first notes here, and I did it with this too. And then I transposed both of them to go up. This is actually a riser I use from Maniac, I'm pretty sure. It's a great riser. And where are the drums? Where'd they go? Where are you at? This kick. Such a great kick. This snare build, a lot of the times when I'm making builds, I just use like I'll like go on Splice and just type in like snare build, because there's a lot of really good call me lazy, but there's a lot of really good snare samples that are just perfect for builds, and like I'll use this one a lot just to like fill it out. I just think that snare sounds so great. But yeah. Can you show you froze the root note? Yeah, of course. So if I'm ever doing MIDI, there's multiple ways you can do this. The reason I froze these was just because it was easier to like freeze it and then transpose it so it rises up in pitch. You can do that with this if you like go into here and then but it's like there's so many, like it's just a lot. Like I think I don't even know which one it is, but I don't know how to do it because I don't know which one is the exact sound, but you could just like go into MIDI, I guess. Yeah, if you do pitch bend, you can do it. But I just liked to, so what I would do is I'd right click the channel. You can click freeze track. And so what that does is it basically goes through the entire channel from start to finish, and it just freezes it into audio. And then you just drag it down to a separate audio track. And to watch, you'll see what I say or showing in a second. All right, so now it's frozen. So if I just make an audio track, you literally can just take it like this, and it immediately turns it into audio. And like I said, I'm a very visual person, and I like doing audio like this. And then you literally can just, so easy. Make sure you put it on complex, or else it's gonna not work. So you can just. So yeah, you just do it like that. That's how I usually do it. And then if you want to undo it, you can unfreeze it, which I'm doing right now. Unfreeze, and then it's good. So like so the channel still stays. Like you can still have the MIDI here, but I just like doing that just for builds, basically just to easily manipulate the audio, because Ableton's just so good at that. Oh, by the way, ignore those media files are missing. It's just a couple samples that we didn't end up using. So it doesn't matter. That's the second drop. Oops. So I guess I'll get in the drop here. So there's a lot of layers going on in this song. A lot. So let's see here. Where is it? So shout out Effin, Mr. JD, because his sample pack is so good. I used a lot of his sounds and reprocessed them. They're just great layers. So I layered that with this. Available now on Splice. Yeah, go cop that if you haven't. That pack is fire. And so keep it progressing. Just goes up a half step. So I just love the rave stab. It just fits so well with the track. And then another cool thing about this track, there's a lot of TAMs going on again. Just gives it that swing. Just stacking again rides, hats. I really was going on the drums of this one. We both were, and basically, yeah, they had this cool. We kind of like the kind of idea we wanted with the song. We kind of wanted like a reggae vibe, right? So like the TAMs kind of give it that reggae vibe, and the vocals just like the prime, the prime thing of the song to me. But the main drop sound is something that we both kind of came up with. I feel like both of our sounds, we both kind of have that like that it's gonna sound so stupid. That wub sound, right? I thought the sound really complemented both of our styles a lot. When I collab with people, I really like to also incorporate my sound, but it sounds so like duh. But I like to combine both our sounds so you can kind of hear both of each other. Because like I feel like a collab is really boring when you can only hear one person's sound. And so we both like thought that this was a great sound that fit both of us. And the song just sounds like Zed and Peekaboo. Like it just sounds like both of us, and it is. You know, it's fun. And so this was just some random splice sample I found. This like one wub, and so if I take this out without the processing. It sounded great off the rip, but I just did some I cut the lows because I used that Leviathan sub to fit the low end. It's more high end to really bring out that distortion and that buzz. Because if I take this out, that's just the sub right here. Just chopped up audio. Just I faded it a little bit so it gives it like movement like the LFO, kind of mimicking the sub or the bass. This is such a fire sample. I use this in a lot of my songs, but this is just like this. I just transposed it up a bunch. If I take it out, why did I do up 7 semitones? I don't know. I just think it sounded better. And so this is a lot of the song actually is from JD's pack that I use. I just like resampled all of his basses because I thought they just were perfect for the song. So this I don't know if I can just do this here. This is what it sounds like before. I just loved the character of that. Just sounded so good. And so what I did to it, this rack, it's called, I don't know if JD made this, but JD gave this to me. It's this vibrato anything pack, so without, gives it that little, like, flutter, I guess. OTT, more EQing, yeah. And then that bass sound that you're hearing, where is that? Another one of JD's things, but it's kind of offset. So it's just like, I don't know, that like that delayness to it. It just kind of made it a little more swingy. Because I could have just done this. But it just sounded so weird. I like how it re-emphasizes it more because it's like a little offbeat. And then they had Zed had this great idea to like keep the vocal kind of going. Where is the vocal? Sorry, it's just a mess in this project file. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, here it is. So it's just a heavy delay, and it's just like slowly fading out. This is the best. What a sample! Like, I was so happy when they sent that. I was like, that's such a fire sample. And so yeah, this whole song is just flows really nice because everything cuts out here, right? So, oh, I'm gonna trip it good. That's why. I always like doing that, like just kind of giving space. So it's like, oh, all the sub's gone, everything's gone, and then it just comes back in, right? So just really impactful. Little effects here, like that coin sound you're hearing, I think is like one of my favorite sounds. No one really notices it probably, but this little, I thought it was a nice little random sound to throw in there to fill out the space. But yeah, this snare just, this little fill, this little snare thing, I think it really kind of makes the flow, makes it flow out nicer because it's almost like it's signaling a chain. And so this is the B section where I really went in and like just sweat on. So this is one of another JD synths. The reason I use so many of JD's synths in the songs, he just gave me this pack like when I was like starting to work on this song. So I was like, oh, new sounds to play with. And this sound is really cool. This is the original sound. I just needed something that had like that driving rhythm. Excuse me. His dust go down my throat. Woo! I just had a lot of dust or something go in my throat. Fuck. Anyways, yeah. So that's like the original sample. It's clearly different, right? So it turned to this. Just gave it a little more like aggressive harshness to it. So there's actually 2 OTTs on this. So without it, just to give it that crunch. Oh my god. EQ'd it some more, sidechain it, a little bit of saturation. Actually, the saturator is actually just acting as a limiter. So without it, it's kind of clipping a little bit, and it's kind of harsh. So if I turn this on and turn soft clip on right here, kind of fixes that. And then I just did some easy, just chopping it up. Really nothing. A little bit of reverb, not too much though. And I'll show you. Everyone's probably wondering is how I made the sub. So this is a little trick I do a lot. I did this in like my Lights Go Down remix too. So without it, so just 2 layers, right? So it's just this the original sub, and this is the sub layer. So this is it's actually my Castbook remix that tech file remix that I made a long time ago. I actually made this in 30 minutes. That remix. One of my favorite things I've ever done. And a big part of that song was taking this sample, or I guess a sub sample. It's something I just kind of figured out my own, just experimenting. But you throw a saturator on it and switch it to sinoid fold. Without it, nothing, right? So, and it's always important to throw it before the EQ and the chain, because what it's doing is it's manipulating the initial sub sound, and then I basically cut all the lows out so it's not interfering with the original sub. And I'm hitting this one note, this one frequency. If I move it, so I just sit here, I'm like, kind of find the sweet spot. And if you crank the bass up, not the drive, but just the bass, it gets harsher. So it's all just with your ear. And that's what I did for my Cast remix, because like that's where it gets that, like, that grittiness to it, and then add some erosion, and sidechain it, and then that's how you layer it. That's all it is. Just gives it, it kind of like, I didn't do it in the first drop because it doesn't make a lot of sense because there's already a lot going on. But here, so if I turn it off, let's see, where did that thing go? It just sounds so empty. So that sub really brightens out the mix. Just really keeps like that flow going. Gives the listener something new to listen to. I just thought that would be a good idea. I just wanted some classic Peekaboo sounds in there to complement their sounds as well. Yeah. Do you make that higher sub later wider in the stereo field? It's in stereo. It's not in mono, but like it's really like if I put it in mono, it wouldn't really make much of a difference because there's nothing really going on left and right. It's all hitting in the center, anyways. Yeah. Reminds you of Illusion. Yeah, Illusion was kind of similar like that. Yeah. What sounds do you sidechain your percussion to, if any? Sub, the drop sound. That's basically it. Synths. Anything that's like the main sound, just so that the drums pop out a lot more. What kick did I use for this? It's I guess I'm an advanced pack. I can't remember. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, or Palace. It's this great kick. Really muddy kick. It's honestly it doesn't sound that great by itself, but it worked in the mix down. I thought it was great. But yeah, like it's just it's just a lot of my sound design and how I work is just simple. Taking like this is another idea I think I had. I tried so many different things. It's just experimenting. It's just taking like sounds like that and just trying to make them into my own, essentially, right? Or just using them in the right way. There's no wrong way of making music. Just it's all about experimenting and just having the right sound that works. Yeah, the breakdown is basically the intro. Just we wanted to keep the drums going because we felt like if I took this out. Wait, what? Oh, I think I have another channel on an accident. Yeah. So the same. I think I just left this on accident. Maybe this one's not the main one. But yeah, without the drums, I just feel like that it lost its energy. So I didn't want to lose it. I wanted to keep it going. We just wanted that energy to keep staying. And not kind of like if we were playing this in a live setting, we wanted like people to just keep their keep in. Sorry, I'm like fumbling my words, to like stay interested. There's nothing wrong with like keeping this like making it like a nice breakdown, maybe make it melodic. But I think for this song, the energy is just so high, you just never want to lose it. Like it dials back a little bit, but it's still you're still dancing, you're still like ready. You're like ready for the second drop. You want to like keep tension in your music a lot, especially if you're making this kind of stuff. With so much going on in the build up, how do you make sure it doesn't overpower the drop? I don't know. So I know sometimes what I'll do, I rarely do this, but sometimes I know a lot of other producers do this. They'll automate their master volume, and so say in the build up, so this is the drop, right? They'll go here and they'll just take their mixer volume, like simple as this. So literally just hold on. They'll just drop it like this, make the intro a little quieter so that when the drop hits, it hits harder. But like I don't think I really need to do that in this one. It was kind of just like sample selection and just mixing. You just kind of learn that on the way. But you have some favorite sounds you often reuse. Really just that sub is the only thing that I really reuse, because I try to not, like, since I don't do a lot of synthesis, I don't have presets. I don't really have any of that stuff. I don't save it. Just because there's nothing wrong with that. Like some people like to do that, and it helps, and it probably would help me work a lot faster if I did that. But I like to always start fresh, like use new sounds, so I'm always making something like new. So I'm not doing like, so I don't want my music to sound repetitive. I don't want to put on another song and say, oh yeah, I've heard that sound before. Like I like to always keep it fresh, and it's harder that way, but I think it's more satisfying for me personally. What's the easiest way to send the project to someone to collab? It depends what you're. I mean, I like stems more, because most people have different plugins, and when you start sending project files, and plugins become an issue, and it can always become messy. So I like to I'll literally sit here and I'll actually organize it for once, and I'll just bounce out each thing individually, and I'll name it something, and I start from I literally export the file. Like I'll solo this, and I'll export it from here to the end. And you can, if you want, you can export it, and then you can do each individual track. I don't like doing that though, because it just names it weird, and then you have to like really rename this, and it's just, I don't know, I just don't like doing that. I like taking the slow route, like slow and steady wins the race, and that way it's all organized, and that all they have to do is that they take the stems and they just drag it in, and then that's all they have to do on their project file. I tell them the tempo, and that's all they do. And it lines up perfectly. But if you are using this, if you're both using Ableton, and you both do the same plugins, you just know, you just literally file, collect all, and save. And what this will do is it saves all of the sounds and samples in one folder, so that when they open up the project, they have all the files, because these sounds are not on their computer. And that's what we did a lot. Me and ZZ, we have a Dropbox, and we would collect all and save in Dropbox. So when they opened it up, they open it, and it's good. And then when they change something, they just collect all and save again and pass it back. But yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll go on to the second drop here. Oh, also this pre-drop sound is one of my favorite things I've ever found. I forget what this even from. I just downpitched it a little bit, OTT'd it, but it just kind of re-emphasizes, like, I like having a little like silence or just one sound before the drop, just because it makes it a lot more impactful. Just really makes it hit harder. And this drop sound is one of my favorites. Such a weird sound. So I took the original wom wom wom, like that sound, and the processing on this is kind of fucked. Oops. So literally, it's just, actually, I think it's from a different sample, actually. It's the same pack, but it's other bass sample that I found, and I literally just chopped it up in eighth notes, and then transposed it up one. Literally, it's just OTT like this. I'm telling you, man. Like, there's a lot of people that talk shit on OTT because they think it's you put on everything and then it makes your mix sound bad. But if you can use it in a smart way, and just like do very little of it, it really can affect like a lot of the sounds and make it a lot brighter, and just it can help a lot. It's a very useful tool. And just honestly, it comes down to EQing. I just cut the lows, brighten it a little bit, side chaining, soft clip because it was clipping a little bit. And that's really it. And I had a tuner on it before because I was trying to find the key of it because it took me a lot. But yeah, that's really all it is. But it just works so well. So without it, I made the sub. I could have made the sub like kind of copy the LFO in eighth notes, but I felt like it didn't really work when I did that. So I felt like it was better if it was a long held sub. That's literally all it is. It's just that simple. It's just finding that one sound you find on like whatever and just using it to your advantage. Like, it's nothing wrong with this, right? Because if I just did this without the processing, it just sounds a little muddy. So I just brighten it up. Also, I forgot to mention this. A lot of people, something when we were both working, me and Zed are working on this track. Something I like to do is I like to switch up the drums like halfway, and I felt like it was cool. Like, you get this really energetic part, the snare. Where is it? Such a simple snare, just super tight, but the side chain that's applied on everything is making that pop out. But then I switch it up, you notice in here. This is my favorite little, this rim. That's all it is. I just thought, like, to switch it up, you get, it kind of comes, like, this is kind of like, kind of sounds a little more like Zed's Zeddy, like Me Too, and then all of a sudden, like, it switches up. I just thought that snare switch up was just, and then the other snare comes back in. It just re-emphasizes this part more. Because with this snare, it doesn't sound bad, but it sounds cool. But I thought it sounded way better. It just kind of like, it's like, whoa, Just very simple things that can really change the song. Flow is everything. How loud is your sub compared to the rest of the mix? Let's see. I don't really know. It's not really that loud. I mean, it's pretty loud. Yeah, it's pretty fucking loud. I like my subs to really. Like, I can't work in a studio if I can't feel the sub. So I have my sub cranked. I mean, not really cranked. It's probably at like, I think it's at like literally the lowest. I think it's like negative 6 dB or something. But the crossover is at like 80. But I like to pump the shit out of my subs because I think the sub is like everything. A lot of my drums recently have been a little more hip hop oriented. So, I like to have like in a lot of hip hop songs, what's like the best thing about them? I mean, yeah, the rap, but like the beat and that 808. And I think that kind of translates the same to dubstep because the bass is what everyone really, wants to feel at a live setting. So if you have a really good sub and it's prominent in the mix and it's clean, it'll smack on a system. Like when GRX and I made Babatunde, our sub was in C sharp. And that's really low. So if you're playing like, I see videos of kids who are playing like bars who are just playing 15-inch tops and no sub. It doesn't really do much, but at a festival setting, like it really hits. When we were at Lost Lands my first year at Lost Lands, Jake and I were like Babatunde just came out in July and it was like the biggest big festival and everybody was playing it and we were just like, that was the first time we heard it on like 500,000 watts of PK sound and it was nuts. Like the sub just smacks. Like C sharp was just the perfect key for it. We were like, wow, okay, well we fuck with that. Like we were just so stoked to hear how good it sounded on a system like that. So yeah, my subs are generally pretty loud. Yeah. But yeah. And so in the second drop, you notice that I didn't use their first snare. So I could have used it. Doesn't sound that bad actually. I kind of like that, but I thought I just thought that snare just fits so well, and again, it just I don't like expect the unexpected. I don't like you to you could be cookie cutter and be like, oh, he's gonna use the same snare again, but when I switch it up, you're like, oh, switch up. It just keeps them interested, and that's really the big thing I try to keep. I hear a lot of songs that use like the same snares and same if you just switch it up a lot and just be creative about it, you can really stand out. Can you go over the riser? Yeah, it's really nothing much. It's just this one riser that I use from Maniac, actually. It's one of my go-tos. I think there's another riser, too. It's on somewhere. Oh, it's really just this. Just the synths. They're just held. Yeah. Lots of post-processing. Not really. Except on like this sub, but this one, nope, just literally, there's nothing, it's literally just a compressor on it. Because the sample is so clean, man. Like you don't have to do much. Will I save this on Twitch after? It won't be on my Twitch. Because the reason for that is I like people just kind of be tuned in. Because otherwise, if I save it on Twitch, people I feel like they won't tune in while I'm streaming, and that's like the fun part for me. But I am recording this right now. It's been recording for an hour and a half. So all this is going to be on my hard drive. So I might probably dig into some video editing software and like get After Effects, whatever, and just kind of like chop it up for you guys, and maybe get someone else to do it. I want to put it on YouTube. I think it would be kind of cool to show. But yeah, it just depends how how it goes. Like if I like going through the video and I'm just like if I'm like mumbling a lot or if it's not really clear, I might just do another video and just record at my own time. But yeah. Yeah, same thing, basically, nothing really different. Yeah, is there any questions about anything you want to see again on this project, or anything else you want me to look at? Or you can ask, it doesn't have to be about the project, you can ask me anything. Literally anything. I could show you guys some new music too before I hop off stream, but I haven't really been writing a crazy amount. I could show you some. I could show you some in a little. I'll show you like maybe one or two before I end the stream. I'm gonna answer some questions though. How do you get yourself out of creative rut? So I just talked about this a little bit. It's not really like up to you when you want to get out of a rut, right? I mean, you can do a lot. The best thing I've been doing recently, especially during COVID, since there's really not anything to do and you can't really do much. Like I always get inspired from shows, and since that's not happening, I've been going to the gym and I've been trying to eat healthier. And I go to the gym. I try to, I put my AirPods in, and I just listen to new shit. I put on a mix or something. I play video games. I try to hang with friends. Just try not even open Ableton, even focus on it, because it's okay to not like. I've been writing. I've been trying to write every day, but like I won't be in the DAW for that long. I kind of just if I'm in a musical rut, I just take a break. And just ride it out. Every musician's gonna be in a creative rut. You just gotta learn how to like just keep your cool and know that you're gonna make something again. Like this song, like when we were working on it, I was kind of in a rut. I couldn't really get anything going with them. It was kind of tough, but then I just one day I just had the spark of inspiration and I just did it. Like I remember I was sitting in my bedroom closet in LA. That's my studio was. My girlfriend was behind me and she was doing homework, and I just had my headphones on and I was just in the zone. Like I just like I don't know. I just got inspired. We were just chilling, and I just pumped it out really fast. And I sent it back to him. I was like, "What do you think about these changes?" And then it was just back and forth in email because we couldn't meet up, because of COVID. So we just back and forth in email. But they're really fun to work with, and we think this track is really fucking awesome. We're super proud of it. Oh yeah. I gotta show my ragtime rap. I think I made the next TikTok beat. I need to get your opinion on it. I was really bored and I was making rap beats. I was in Discord with G-Rex and Sully, and we were just like working on rap beats, and I just decided to troll and make a really funny like meme beat, and I think I might put it on TikTok. I think it'd be huge. I need your guys' help. Yeah. How do you go about making atmosphere? Just a lot of splice samples. I have like something I do a lot. I didn't do it in this track. I almost did, but I do this in a lot of my songs. I kind of think it's like a good sound of mine. These tension strings. So it's just the original sample. Oops. What? Oh. What? Sorry. So it's just this like, creepy string that's on one note, and I double it, and then I just transpose it off one semitone, so it gives it that dissonant. I did that in Smack. I do that in the Casper collab that you saw, but yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. It's good splice samples. Pre-drop samples, I did a lot of splice, but honestly, I'm kind of avoiding splice for pre-drop samples because, like Wrecking Ball, I heard that vocal sample in so many other songs. That's not like no one was stealing it. It was just because that was on splice and people just found it, so it kind of loses its touch. So trying to keep it original is the best. Use your own voice, like I do that sometimes. What's your favorite piece of musical equipment? I'll show, this is my this is my I've had this guitar for like a Gibson Les Paul Studio. I've had this for like I think like 8 or 9 years. I've kept it in pretty good condition. I've played guitar for a long time. I haven't really done it as much, but this is my baby. I had a garage sale with my mom, and I raised like a bunch of money. This is one of my first guitars like I ever bought myself. So we had a garage sale, sold a bunch of my old stuff, and this thing is like my favorite. I'm never gonna get rid of this thing. Nice faded cherry wood, and it's a little beat up, but it's honestly for how long I've had it, I'm surprised that I haven't destroyed this thing entirely. And then I got this other one. I bought this not too long ago. It's a EVH Wolfgang Eddie Van Halen guitar. I'm actually really glad that I bought this because since Eddie Van Halen passed away, I'm never getting rid of this one either because I guarantee this will be worth maybe a lot in the future because I just love this color. It has a nice Floyd Rose on it, keep it in tune. I play a lot of guitar here and there when I'm feeling like it, but I'm too lazy right now. But right there, I just bought a Martin acoustic I got a used one that's basically brand new and it's pretty dope. I've been trying to learn acoustic guitar in my free time. Yeah. Can you go over how to use Max for Live? Oh wait, sorry, there's some other questions I missed. You focus a lot of your sounds being in the same key? Yeah. I write in D a lot, D minor. Just sounds great. Here comes the dick jokes. But yeah, I think D minor is really honestly my favorite. But I've been doing, I fluctuate a little bit, but yeah. Can you go over to use Max for Live? I didn't really use it in this track, but actually, did I? I don't think I did. No, I definitely didn't. But basically, I guess I can just do an example. Do something stupid. I'll show you what he's talking about. Yeah, this will be perfect. So, what he's talking about, actually, good old Tynan showed me this trick one time. And I actually do this a lot. So, if you go to Ableton, get a window here. If you own Ableton, there are a bunch of packs. A lot of people don't know this actually. So if you go to the packs, there's so there's a lot of free, or some you can buy, but there's a lot of free packs that Ableton makes themselves. And if you find, it's called Essentials, I think. Oops, I am butchering the spelling. That's somewhere near. Hold on. I'll find it. So close. I know it's there. It is. So it's called Max for Live Essentials, and you download it, and it comes with all of these audio effects. And the one I use a lot is called LFO. There's two of them, but this one, like I think the other one is the same thing, just looks different. I don't really like how this one works though. I just like this one. So what you're seeing here is it's just an LFO. I think of it as a waveform. So I'll slap a frequency shifter on it. And what this thing can do is, I'll just give a couple examples. it basically you can map this to any knob and parameter in Ableton. So and what you can do, so you click the map button, right, and then you can click any one of these knobs. So what I'll do is I'll go to the fine knob on the frequency shifter. So see how it's moving? It's going at 4,000 hertz right now, which is just the sine wave. You can change, like, you can do like a triangle wave, down like a square wave, everything. So I usually do sine. And then if you click this button, you can change it so you can actually do it like. So hear that fluctuating? Crank the offset, and you can change it. You can change the phase. You can find the tempo. It's a cool little tip. I do that a lot for some songs. You don't have to do that. You can also map it on like an auto filter. So you can experiment it and do it like on anything you really want, and it's a really useful tool. I do that quite a bit. I did that for Wrecking Ball. Actually, I did that a lot in Wrecking Ball. That's how I like in Wrecking Ball. There's like after I say "whoa, that was weird," and it's like whoop, whoop, whoop. That's literally the max LFO thing. But yeah. Would I use my master? Nothing. Just this for like when I'm trying to make it louder and get ready for a show. This is just so I can see the waveform. And sometimes I've gone over this a couple times. When I'm working on a song, if I throw a multiband on my master, this isn't really doing anything. But while I'm playing, I play through the song, and to hear any imperfections in my mix, I'll just solo the mids. I like to hear it like this because it kind of, and then while I'm playing it, I'll unsolo it. Just to get that brightness, and because I feel like when you listen to it in this way while you're listening to it, I don't know why I do this. I think it's really weird that I do this, but I think it kind of helps me. It kind of retunes your ears in a way. So while I'm listening to it, I'm listening to it. It just helps you hear something. Like, oh, that sounds weird, or I need to turn that down, or oh, I need to that's how I really reset my ears, because when you're sitting here listening to it over and over and over, you start to just get used to it. So if you just kind of switch it up, I'll just do that and just try to figure out if I need to change anything or whatnot. So it's not really necessary, but for me, it's what I do. It's just like a weird thing, but yeah. Do I ever teach one-on-one? I did a while ago for a couple people, but I feel like I'm just a really bad teacher on one-on-one, so I just kind of haven't really done it. I'm thinking about it. It's just I'm just all over the place a lot, and I just don't really I don't know. It's hard for me to stick to a schedule like that. But for Twitch streaming, I'm trying to keep this regular again and get it back going, because I've kind of missed it, to be honest. So, but yeah. But that's basically Powa. I mean, there's really nothing else, really. If there's anything else you want me to go through, I can go through and explain something, or yeah. I could show you some new music while we're doing. I don't really care. I got some stuff that me, G-Rex, and Sully made kind of a banger. I got a couple that I can show. As long as you guys don't rip it, because I'll come for you. I have one Elixir song that much my side project, I can show you. I actually really want to show you guys that, because one of the prettiest song I've ever made, and I have a little story behind it. But yeah, where do you usually start your ideas? I lay drums down first, always a beat. I'll find a drum loop or something sometimes, if it's a really weird, a hip hop drum loop, and I'll just throw it in and then start adding sounds, and then I'll kind of mess with the drums to make it a little more unique. And that's still an idea flowing in a rhythm. Kind of think about it if you're in a band and you're all jamming out together. One person starts a drum beat or a bass line, and then you kind of slowly add to it. Oh, a lot of it's like jazz in a way. Jazz is all improvisation. It's kind of the same thing for me when it comes to writing this. I just kind of slowly add things one at a time. No idea usually. I don't really go in with an idea. Yeah. Thanks for, yeah, I'm really glad everyone's liking the side project. It's also not called Alchemy anymore, by the way, because there was another producer. He's not very big, but he kindly he was very polite about it and asked if he could if I could change my name because he's been working on it for years, I guess. And I respected that because I remember, when I started Peekaboo, I could see how it would be very irritating if someone, with a volleying just does that. So I kindly changed it to Elixir. Because and I actually kind of like that name more, anyways. But yeah, I've actually had a lot of fun with it. The reason I started it is because I've just been writing a lot of pretty stuff, and some others just random songs here and there that I don't really fit the Peekaboo style. So I've been wanting to branch more and just kind of help with my writer's block. Essentially, I like writing stuff like that just for fun, and then I pump it over to Elixir. So, and it's been really fun and it's been received very well. So I really appreciate you guys listening to it and respecting it. I know it's not bass music, but it's just it's kind of stuff you kind of put on in the background when you're working on homework or studying or whatnot. Yeah. Can you show us that new VIP song from the Instagram story? Oh, that's not. Yeah, I'll show that. I'll show that I made yesterday. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now if you guys don't mind. I don't think you would mind, but it's really nothing. I don't know. It's really nothing that crazy right now. It's just I'm trying to I kind of felt like writing an old school for my Imposters EP, kind of like an older Peekaboo track, like something a little more deep. And this song, the whole idea of it is kind of supposed to be something you play in the middle of a set that just really catches you off guard because it's very minimal. But I think it's a cool start. It's really nothing right now. It's really all over the place. I just worked on this yesterday. I'll show you guys this one, I guess. Can you link the side project? Yeah. So if you go to my my SoundCloud, in my bio under all my management emails and bookings and stuff, there's a @ it says Tunes by Elixir. You just click that. The logo is like a potion bottle, like an elixir bottle. So just check that out. Okay. So I guess I'll show you guys this track really quick. Delete this. It's not ready. It's very bare bones right now. Where'd the kick go? What? Oh, shit. Wait. What? Weird. I don't know why those are missing. All right, the kick was just missing for some reason. Found it, though. All right. Yeah, that's basically it right now. It's really nothing much, but I really like how minimal it is. I was just kind of trying to make a deeper dub kind of song because I haven't done that in a while, and I'm just experimenting with that. So it's a cool little track. Nothing super crazy, but it's very bare bones. I just started it yesterday, so it's all. I was probably gonna work on it more today, but I guess I could show you some other stuff. I don't have the project file with me because it's on Sully's computer, but I'll show you. Let's see, what should I show? All right, what should I show first? Should I show my Elixir song? Should I show the collab with me, GRX and Sully? GRX and Sully? I can show another song that Sully and I made. I can show. No, I can show nothing on ID. What should I? Oh, the TikTok. Yeah, let me show you the TikTok. Let me show you the TikTok one. Let me show you that first. It's really short. It'll take a second. Y'all ever heard of ragtime rap? Because you're about to. All right. Okay. So when I'm playing this, okay, let me say something really quick. I made this in 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, just a simple beat. But I want to put this on TikTok. So I want people to start making dances with it, and I think this would go viral. So let me just let me show you this heat right now, all right? Yeah. Skip. Blah. Like, could you not see this on TikTok? I swear to God, I could see this on TikTok. I was just trolling so hard, dude. I want to like take a video of the project file or just this beat and then put it on TikTok and be like, duet this. So I need your guys' help with that. I want you guys to, if you have a TikTok, make a stupid TikTok with it. Make it viral, all right? Yeah, that one, that's hilarious. Yeah, right? I was just for fun. I don't know. Just bored, you know. There's nothing else to do in quarantine. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys a bunch of new music because I just feel like it. I'm gonna show you the Elixir song really quick because I really want to show you that. It's called Childhood, and the story behind the song is I moved back to my hometown, and I was just like kind of driving around, and like I just was super like, hi mom, my mom is in here. Everyone say hi. Yeah, so like. The whole story of the song, I was driving around and I just got really nostalgic. Like I just like kind of like was seeing things I was familiar with, just thinking about my childhood. So I had a good childhood. I had some rough times, but like I had a really good childhood and was very fortunate and raised in a good area and whatnot. And so like I was just really feeling happy about that. And so I wanted to write a song that kind of reflected that as with the side project. And it's really just this, it's really nothing much, but it's this really chill beat. And I don't know, I'm just really stoked about it. I'm probably gonna upload this. I could probably upload it tomorrow. I don't know. I might put it out soon. It's not really it's almost done, but this is the most recent bounce. So I guess I'll just show you guys this. Actually, wait. This is. Let me see something. Okay, this is the most recent bounce. All right. You guys ready? Hype train. I did write the piano, or the piano is actually a sample, but I chopped it up with different chords because they were just wasn't the right chord progression I wanted. But yeah. Yeah, that's basically. I don't want to show all of it because I want to upload this pretty soon. But yeah, that's the song. I'm really stoked about this one. It's actually one of my favorite things I've ever made. It was super chill. I don't know. I just had a really fun day. It was like I think it was snowing that day, and it was just like I don't know. I was really inspired and just wanted to write something like that. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like that. Also, thanks, Mom, for the sub. And thank you, Morgan Freeman's Nips, for the sub. Oh, wait, no, someone gifted a sub to my mom? Oh, thanks so much. That's awesome. Hell yeah. But yeah, God, what should I show you next? Should I show you I can show you G-Rex, Sully, and I's collab. It's done. It has a little mixing to do, I think, but it's there, and it's fucking. How do I show this without? I'm gonna download it so you don't get. I don't want you guys to take the private link in there. Oh wait, I already have it downloaded. Whatever. So yeah, we made this. This idea started so funny. We were like all just at Sully's house in his new studio, and like me, we were like, Sully, it wasn't like a break beat. We were trying to do some like weird break beat, and it didn't really make a lot of sense because we were sitting there for a while, and like I remember Jake comes up, he goes, "Let's just go back to 140." We made a banger. It's a really cool song. Yeah, we don't know we just kind of wrote it. We're trying to write a lot of music and just get ready for festival season. But yeah, check this out. Oh yeah, it is 130. That's right. It's actually 130 BPM. I forgot about that. It does feel faster though. This shit is insane. Get ready for this. Oh yeah, fuck! It is Jake's birthday today. Everyone, go tweet him. I forgot about that. I gotta text him. Yeah, I don't want to show too much, but yeah, that's the collab. What do you guys think? It's kind of a banger. I want to show a couple more, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream in a little bit because I've been live for 2 hours. But I'm gonna definitely stream again, probably this week, maybe, or maybe tomorrow. Fuck it, I don't know. I could stream a little bit tomorrow. I could probably stream a little bit in the morning for a couple hours. I got a DMV appointment, but show you a couple more. I can show you the Eptic collab. we haven't really finished it yet, but it's basically there. He's still working. He wants to pass it back to me. He wants to work on it a little bit more, but I'll show you this. This shit is so fucking awesome. I'm so stoked about it. What did he call it? I downloaded it. He titled it something so funny. Yeah, getting my dick on with Peekaboo. But yeah.
Fuck me up.
Yeah, this shit is fucking insane. So this was an idea that I started, and I've been sitting on it for a while. I actually posted my Twitter a while ago, so you're probably gonna be be a little familiar with it, but I sent it to him because I had nothing else to do with it. So he fucking just came in and just made it incredible.
Watch your mouth.
This shit is fucking nuts.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, so sick. Yeah, that's basically all we got right now, but isn't that insane? I'm so stoked on that one. Yeah. I want to show you this other one too. Oh my god, I just want to keep going. This is a actually, I'm gonna put this out eventually as Elixir with this is me, Sully, and our homie Detra. Me and Detra are working on this song, just trying to start something, and then Sully just hopped over and we're like, you wanna hop on this? And we just fucking made an absolute slapper, and then I was like, well, what if we just slap this Oliver Tree vocal on it? And it just like literally fits so perfectly, and it's such a cool tempo, and it's such a sick song. I'm gonna try to put it out soon. I'm gonna show you guys. I haven't shown this to anybody yet. But yeah.
Movement was my only chance. Full speed ahead was my only plan. I'm moving while you talk and talk. Don't talk shit, you gon' break your jaw. I'm moving, I've been on the run. Somebody better help me, son. I'm moving, I've been on the run. Somebody better save me, son.
This shit is fucking insane. Just get ready for it.
I wake up brain dead. Hook me up on life support. Will somebody tell me what I'm fighting for? Same shit still hits, now I'm running up. Same shit, rising, I'm coming up. Same shit still hits, now I'm running up. Same shit, rising, I'm coming up. I'm coming up. My movement's coming up. Bitch, I'm coming up. My movement's coming up. My movement's coming up. Bitch, I'm coming up. My movement's coming up. Movement was my only sound. Running through the door yelling, what the hell? I'm moving while you talk and talk. Don't talk, so you gon' break your jaw. Movement was my only chance. Full speed ahead was my only plan. I'm moving while you talk and talk. Don't talk, so you gon' break your jaw. I'm moving, I've been on the run.
Just wait for the second drop. This shit is insane.
I'm moving, I've been on the run. Somebody better save me, son. I speed up, I go faster. No shit, I just roll right past ya. Hook me up on life support. Will somebody tell me what I'm fighting for? I'm coming up. My movement's coming up. Bitch, I'm coming up.